Your ideas aren't failing. Your process is. That big dramatic reveal you've been working on, the grand finale where you unveil your genius strategy, it's a trap. It is the single biggest reason your best work never sees the light of day.
There's a name for this, right? It's the presentation failure loop, and it probably sounds familiar. You and your team, you work in a bubble, polishing a deck until it shines. Then you spring it on your stakeholders in the big meeting, and what happens? Surprise! Defensiveness, and a ton of new questions that send you right back to square one. It's this exhausting cycle of wasted effort, and we're ending it today.
Look, every important meeting you walk into goes down one of two paths. On the left, you've got the ambush, what we call the form of introduction. You surprise everyone, they get their backs up, and your idea dies a slow death from 1,000 questions. But on the right, that's the form of decision. That's where you want to be. That meeting isn't even a meeting, it's a victory lap.
And this quote just nails it. A presentation should be a forum for decision, not introduction. Think about it. When you surprise executives, you're asking them to do two impossible things at the same time: absorb a ton of complex information and make a high-stakes call on the spot. It's a recipe for disaster. The real work, the actual decision, has to happen way before you ever set foot in that conference room. So the big question is, how do you break the cycle? The answer is a super disciplined framework called the pre-presentation. This is the system that turns that risky, high-stakes meeting from a total gamble into a simple formality.
Now, the pre-presentation isn't just about having a few casual chats beforehand. No, it's a systematic process. It's about de-risking your idea by socializing it with every single key stakeholder before the main event. And the whole point is simple. You want to transform your presentation from some high-wire performance into what we call a ratification ceremony, a meeting where the decision has, for all intents and purposes, already been made. And this is not just theory. It's a tactical, step-by-step workflow. First, you lock your deck days ahead of time. No more frantic, last-minute changes. Then, you map out your stakeholders. Who are your allies? Who are the skeptics? Who really holds the purse strings? After that, you get them one-on-one. And you're not there to present, you're there to collaborate. You walk them through your logic, you actually listen to what they have to say, and you make them feel like co-owners of the idea. So by the time you get to that final ask, it's not really a question anymore. It's just a conclusion.
Let me tell you a quick story that just brings this whole thing to life. There was a young consultant. She had to pitch this massive, really controversial restructuring plan to a bank's executive team. I mean, she was terrified, but she used this framework. She met with all 6 executives beforehand, including her biggest, harshest critic. He totally ripped her proposal apart, but she just listened, and her team worked his feedback into the plan. So, in the final meeting, the CEO turns to that same critic first. The whole room just goes silent. And he says it. The team has listened. The strategic direction is sound. I support it. Boom. The game was won, not in the big boardroom, but in those small one-on-one conversations.
Okay, so you've seen how powerful this framework can be. Now let's get tactical. This is your playbook for putting this whole thing into practice with your own team, like starting today. Here are 4 absolute power moves to make this a reality. 1, bake it into your project plan. A hard deadline for a draft deck complete is non-negotiable. 2, map your stakeholders like you're running a political campaign. You need to know your champions and your blockers. 3, and listen, this is the pro move, go to toughest critic first. If you can win them over, everyone else will be a cakewalk. And finally, as a leader, you gotta coach this. This needs to become a core skill for your entire team.
Now, for all you data-driven leaders out there, I know what you're asking. This all sounds great, but how do I measure it? Well, there is one metric that separates the truly elite teams from the average ones. And believe me, it has nothing to do with how pretty your slides are. It's your meeting decision rate. It's simple. What percentage of your high-stakes meetings end with the exact decision you walked in asking for? The benchmark for the best teams out there is over 90%. If you're not hitting that number, your pre-presentation process is broken. It's that simple. And this isn't just about getting a yes, it's a direct measure of your team's strategic influence. All right, we always like to end with something you can put into action the minute you get back to work. So here it is, your simple, incredibly powerful action for next week.
The very next time a team member brings you a big proposal, I want you to ask them one question before you even look at a single slide. Who have you spoken to? Just that one question changes the entire game. It completely shifts your team's focus from building a beautiful deck to building the human consensus that's required to make a real impact. So, as you get ready for your next big pitch, just ask yourself this. Are you rehearsing for a performance, just hoping you can win over the room on the day? Or are you preparing for a ratification ceremony, where the yes is already a foregone conclusion? The choice and the outcome is totally up to you.